spoiler alert warning. This will spoil the book Hatchet and the book Guts, and also I'm not sponsored. I'd love this video to be sponsored, but no, okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast. Today we'll be talking about a book called Guts and the social issue inside of it. So you're probably wondering, hey, what's Guts? Well, Guts is a book that explains another book named Hatchet and tells us how Mr. Paulsen got all his stories. From little kids getting attacked by a deer, from getting lost in the woods, it has some truly great stories. Both these books will be in the link in the description below, so you can check them out. Well, you're probably wondering, hey, what social issues were you going to talk about today? Well, surprisingly, it's nature. We see in Guts that while it helps Mr. Paulsen and other people sometimes, it also really bites them in the other times. A good example of this from the book is when Mr. Paulsen sees a kid get killed by a deer. That's right. On page 55, it says, "The child took a mint from the package and held it out to the deer, which reached forward to take it, then pulled it back. The deer lashed out with its front hooves, 2 slashing jabs so incredibly fast, that the only thing I would see in my life to compete with it is a rattlesnake." Woo! I mean, wow, that's some pretty good evidence right there. I would, killing a kid for candy wouldn't be me. I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's like a tragedy almost. So wouldn't that be like an issue? I think that's a pretty big issue, guys. There's also another point in the book where he's dragging a deer that he had killed, and he is actually living off the meat of the deer while dragging it to try to find civilization. There are coyotes surrounding him, and he's on the cusp of being killed. The only thing stopping the coyotes was fire. I mean, hey, I'd be pretty scared if I was him. If I wasn't 6'4", 240, and could bench 300 pounds. Ha ha ha, dang. Nobody laughed. Okay. Anyways, there are a lot of examples from his book Guts to the one that he's explaining named Hatchet. There are actually a few things that I've learned from my book and my issue. It's that most things don't come how you expect it to. Like that deer. Who would think that a deer would kick you in the stomach just because you wouldn't give it a piece of candy? What type of logic is that? That deer must be wrong in the head or something. I don't know. And actually, overall, I think the most powerful resource that I had was the book that I was reading, because it provided me with an insight from somebody who is very familiar with nature. Because if you didn't know, Gary Paulsen lives in the Alaskan wilderness, or he did for a little bit. I know he definitely lives in Alaska, but since he lives in the Alaskan wilderness, he knows a lot more about, animals and different types of stuff like that. And yes, I am doing this for a school project. I don't know why else I would make this, but my big takeaway from this L&F unit, the literary nonfiction unit, was that most things that you have to learn about a book, they don't come and just tell you right away. You kind of have to dig for it. In this book, it doesn't come out and tell you, hey, this is the social issue of the book. It kind of just hides it. You kind of have to think about it. I know most people wouldn't probably think that nature was the issue in this book, but in my opinion, it was a pretty big issue. Okay, freeze right there. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now.